Safe space, completely transparent. Again, I do agree that like
safe space for you too.
Don't at me.
Just us.
Don't at me.
And the rest of the world.
Don't at me. But like in the conversation here, so yes, if I have a partner, I hope they respect me. Like I was in a relationship, they weren't religious, I was religious, and it was fine. Like we did our own thing. Truthfully, now that I'm more involved with my religion, that I'm more involved with my faith, I do pray. And not even about like, so when I was in the relationship, I would pray, like whenever I would have arguments, I would pray about the relationship and be like, Father, God, you know, however I pray. No one needs to know how I pray. But it's like, like if this is for me, let it be for me. And if it's not, it's not. And just help me understand, like, I don't know what's going to come of this. And I don't want to know. I just need to know, I just need your strength to go with whatever you choose. And I know that sounds very weird or whatever, but ever since getting that mentality, it's been so much easier to go about dating. Like I'm very single and I'm a Pisces, I'm very emotional, like I want love, like all about it. And it's hard, like especially in this day, I'm almost gonna be 32. I'm very one of those people that like, I need a relationship, you know, like, and I would love to find a Christian gay male, like obviously, but.
I feel bad. I'm kidding.
Girl, be tired. But I pray at night, and I used to pray like,
some of us out
help
there.
me find someone, help me whatever, like help me find someone to complete me. And then just going to church and becoming more self-aware in church has made me, my prayers have been, God, help me with my relationships. Help me just find someone who, let me be okay first, and then help me find someone to help with that. Whether, and whatever. And I know this sounds, again, weird, but whoever I find, I know God will put in my space so that can help me. Whether they're Christian, whether they're Jewish, or whatever, because my prayers have been answered for other things, I know that this is just something else. And believe me, it's been so many, like it's been such a long time that I keep praying for the same thing, and I'm like, all right, God, well, here we go again, like, what's up? But I know that there's a reason why I'm single. There's a reason why I have not met my person, because either I'm not ready, they're not ready, or we're just not in the space to grow. And that's what I feel like, that's why my last relationship, I was like, this is it, this is the end all be all. And I kept praying, and like things just kept going wrong. And I'm like, God, I keep praying, like, what's up? And I'm sorry I look up, but that's just the thing. But it just never worked out. And then just slowly, again, being self-aware in my religion, it's like, this didn't work out because of this. Like, and going further on time. Yeah. Again, you call it what you want, you call it coincidence.
I do want to cut you off for like a quick second because
no,
I don't feel like you have to have a religion to be comfortable with yourself and trying to understand like, why is my relationship is not working, asking somebody else. But in all actuality, you're really asking yourself, why is this not working out? Because it's self-doubt. You don't have to have God or a religion to say, hey, you know what? Why is my job not going well? Why is my relationship failing? Why is, my life in shambles? Why am I not making the money that I want to make? It's because you don't have self-confidence. Not saying you, just a general aspect. There's no self-confidence. There's no self-knowing, knowing yourself as a human being. You don't need to be in a religion to understand yourself and what you want.
But you need support, and that's the only thing.
That's the people that you surround yourself with as positive people. If you don't have positive people within your circle, whether if they are religious, whether they are intellectual, whether they have just like a self-being that makes you feel good, you need people who are going to be in your space that are going to lift you up. You don't have to be in a religion and go to church every Sunday. And I'm sorry, if you go to church every Sunday, you're not religious to me. If you're not going on Wednesdays, you're not going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's, to me, you're half-assing. It's like people who go to church when they want to go on Thanksgiving, or they want to go during Christmas or on holidays. To me, that's not being religious. That's just making it seem, no offense to it.
Right.
I've seen people who are like that, who go to church on a Sunday, and it's like, why are you going? Half the time you're smoking in your house, you're drinking, you're doing whatever, and then on Sunday you be like, well, I'm gonna go in there really quick, get a little holy water on myself, and I'm gonna be blessed for the rest of the week.
That was my.
And it just makes it seem like, what's the point?
No, first I want to say that you don't have to come like as a perfect being to go to church. Like I go to church knowing that I have like a lot of
You go to church because you're imperfect.
Right,
that's the first thing.
I come with all this imperfections.
But why do you have to make it seem like you're imperfect though? Like what makes you think like you're
because
imperfect?
Nobody's perfect, and that's why if regardless.
But it's being comfortable with yourself.
And
because
fine.
I'm not perfect, I look at myself every day in the mirror and be like, oh my God, why do I look like half the people that are out there? But I'm comfortable with myself because I'm just
because I'm saying I'm imperfect doesn't mean I'm not comfortable with myself.
This is the
That's
thing. And going back to what you were saying about going to church on and off. My parents, when we were growing up, we went to church for Christmas. We went to church for Easter.
The holidays.
Right. Well, what's the point?
But why are you making it like an attendance thing? Like I have to like go every Sunday or not?
For me, if you're gonna put so much importance on going to church on certain holidays, why? And this is, I guess, this question for my parents. Why is it such a big deal to go on those days, but the rest of the days it doesn't matter? For me, in relationships, friendships, and lovers, I appreciate consistency, and consistency says a lot. If you're not consistent in a certain relationship and you only say things when it's convenient to you, we can talk about religion and government as well, because I think that's an issue as well.
Especially now.
That's a problem for me. When you say gay people shouldn't get married because the Bible says Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Right? And that is just like so stupid to me, whatever. For me, homosexuality is the natural way to control overpopulation, because I'm pretty sure between the four of us, if we were all straight, we would have 10 kids between the
my brother has at least, he has like 9. So yeah.
I hope not. Don't say that.
But you got to think about it back then too. Way back when the Earth started, it was polygamy. People were just having sex because it was good. It doesn't have to make it seem like I have to have sex with a woman just to procreate another human being. And that's the thing about religion, especially like in Jewish religion. It's like you have to have a boy, you have to do this, you have to have this many kids, and you have to live this life. And it's like, why do I have to follow something to control me? I don't want to be controlled. But you guys are
going off like really old school.
Yeah, but it's not. But that's the way. Well, you can't say it's old school. It's the Bible. That's the way that it was written.
Absolutely not, because everything changes, but that's the thing. It's all about perception.
When you go into like new commandment, and then like something being, this is a new word. This is something that's been rewritten. The Bible. How many generations of the Bible are there? Many of them.
Yes.
So if you want to think about it, it's because you know what? I don't like this. I'm gonna take this out and put this in there and make it convenient.
You chose not to choose religion because of the things you've seen from your younger years to now. And the thing is, you continue to say, oh yes, I went to church and I didn't see it and I don't agree with this. But just as like the times have changed with gay marriage, just as the times have changed with the government, everything changes. So the perception of religion has also changed. So that old school view, yes, it was instilled in our parents, it's still there, and people still believe in it. But now there's a new age of new Christians, of new people that are saying, listen, I apologize that you were taught religion this way. I apologize that it was so by the books and there was no black and white. But here I am, new Christian, trying to say like, listen, I believe in you. If you want to accept God in your life, you can. If not, then fine. But like those old ways, I don't even follow those old ways. I'm an LGBT male who likes sex, who goes out to the club, who's drinking tequila and ginger and chilling. But those things, that lifestyle, doesn't affect my faith.
But I find that extremely confusing. You cannot take religion and say, you know what, as exactly what I just said previously. You're literally gonna take something that you do not like out of the Bible and say like, that's blasphemy. I feel like that's uncomfortable for me to live in. I'm going to remove that and like, now I'm going to go out into the world and do what I want because now I can do so. You cannot take religion and make it seem like it's just that simple for me to change for the convenience of yourself.
No, that's not true.
You're changing it as a convenience. That's exactly what's happening. That's the reason why these new churches are opening, so that people who don't believe in certain words of the Bible, to make them feel comfortable and make it seem like it is okay to do this. Is that
so bad?
But no, it's not bad. It's actually very good, so that you can. No. I'm making a point.
I was like, you seem mad about it.
I'm making a point that everybody wants to take certain things, whether it's like being at work. You're at work every day. You wake up 9 to 5. You go to work, and you have to do the same thing over and over and over again. And then you just have this one person that you work with that's a bit rebellious, that doesn't listen to you. As myself being a office manager, I have a lot of people that I work with and that are under me, and there's some of them are great, and there's one person that always wants to be like, I'm not doing that because I don't feel it's right for me. I'm not gonna wash the wall because that's not part of my that's not what you wrote in my,
And those are
in
the people
my
that
thing.
change the world.
But
because
that's not changing
they
the
go a
world.
Different, yeah, because they go from a different stage.
Change is good. That's not what I'm
You
getting
can't
at.
say change is good in some things and change is good in other
But
things.
you can't. The thing about that's the reason why I don't believe in religion, because you cannot take the word of someone that's a higher being, let it trickle down, and then like I'm going to change it. I'm talking about religion in general. It's a convenience for people to just make it seem like, hey, I've got to be this way. I'm going to change a few things and I'm going to do what I want.
I feel like as gay people, we were victimized to like not have a relationship with God, because everything that you guys are discussing are all these rules that we put like in place for us to follow or not, or to judge us. You know what I mean? I think every time we say religion and relationship with God, two different things. Like I feel religion is there to make sure that
it's like government.
Yeah, it's like to make sure that you go this way.
Rules.
I personally go to church because I just like praising and I like to praise with people. But I don't have to go to church to praise, or I don't have to go to church to like have a relationship with God. That's like my personal relationship with God. You understand? And I think if all as individuals, gay or whatever, understood that, then you will have a better relationship with God and create more understanding furthermore about those things that you really, that we are arguing about here.
I think I agree. I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree that as gay Latino men, coming from countries that were
macho strong
and were colonized by Spanish Catholics, we have been victimized, right? And 100%. That's where a lot of the rebellion comes, right? But I guess let's talk about different sides of religion, right?
Okay.
So let's talk about, do you guys believe in science versus religion? Do you believe in the Bible's testimony where Earth was created in 7 days?
Okay. So again, I think it's perception. And again, I think it's because whatever man touches, like we're always going to change it up in whatever benefits us. So again, I do agree that the Bible is a secret book, but it is written by man, whoever those men or women might be. Like that's how it's written. So I believe the creation of the earth, Adam and Eve, was just a story how we all know to be like fairy tales, stories like Cinderella and stuff. I don't necessarily agree that like, okay, the earth was created in 7 days. Like there's science to prove it. And I believe there. I think that just because no one was there to actually view it, like where is the beginning? Where's the start? Every story has to have a beginning. And again, Christianity is probably one of the later religions that were set up because it stemmed from being Jew. It stems from the Romans and the Romans invading, Israel and whatnot. So I think because it was so late, they created this kind of like, how do we start this book? So it's hard to say. It's like, I'll never say like, oh yeah, I believe the earth was created in 7 days, but it's not because I don't believe the Bible, but it's just because, again, it's just a story.
But the Bible is actually written many, many, many years after religion was an actual thing. There was people who were praising to the moon and all that stuff, and they kind of like conceptualize it to like benefit themselves in a sense of like, I'm going to interpret this the way that I feel it is. Well, the moon is actually God as a spiritual person. And I would rather understand the spirituality when it comes to certain things. I would rather praise to the moon.
But can I push back on you on that? Yeah. Like, as an atheist, do you believe in spirituality?
My father's side of the family, they actually do like, what the hell you call it? Santeria, whatever it is. That the Puerto Rican thing, the white, they dress in all white and all that stuff. Yeah. That stuff. And I've seen it, and it just scares the shit out of me. Just like most religions. I wouldn't say I would believe that in a sense, because I find that to be a little too demonic for me. I don't know what it is. It's a little scary. I don't appreciate stuff like that. I can't even watch a scary movie by myself. So imagine me watching that and realize I'm gonna shit myself.
But as an atheist, my understanding of atheism is like you don't believe in anything.
Yeah. No, I don't. I find the knowledge in certain things to understand why life is life, or science behind it, the way that people talk about certain things. It's just coming to a realization of like, people have their own beliefs. I have to have that understanding of that, because if I don't, how can I say that I don't believe in it?
So where do you think people go when they die?
It's like some saying, like, you see a kid and they look at something on a plate and they're like, I don't want to eat it. No, it's gross. I don't want to try it. And it's like, but why not? You never had it before. You never tasted it. So taste it, give it a try. And I gave it a try. I've sat there and I've gone to a church. I've been to a Catholic church and did the whole Holy Ghost thing and put a cross on my head and ate some, whatever they call it, the Christ of Jesus. I don't know what it is.
It's the body of Christ.
That stuff. And, you know, and I've done it all. And I've done it all. And there's no education behind it. It's just story to me.
Have you taken the time though? Because it seems like you've done as anybody, as you said, like.
I grew up Judy, I grew up in Jehovah's Witness for about 10, 12 years of my life. And even though that I was a kid, I still understood it. There was people that used to come over. They open that little yellow book and they'll read passages, and it's like the first page is like
the small one.
Yeah, the small little thing that every person have one of those. I've
read with the blue.
Let's see with the little flames. That's all I got.
Little pictures in it. I've read, I've been to Catholic church. I've done it. I've read the Bible. I try to understand it. I just don't find the belief behind it. I believe in oneself. I believe in myself as a human being. I believe in my mistakes. I believe there's error. I believe in my conscience, because at the end of the day, when you're praying to yourself, you're really answering what you need to do for you. Yeah. So when you're praying, you're like, oh God, why is this not working out for me? And then at the end of the day, you're just like really thinking about okay, now I know where I fucked up. Oh, and then you think about your relationship. You're like, oh God, please help me with this. And it's like, oh, he was an asshole, or I was an asshole, or I cheated, or I was just horny and I just wanted to go fuck somebody else. I don't know. So it all depends on where you take yourself and where you're trying to go.
But there's a science behind religions too. Like you said, you as an atheist, you want to find the science behind it, and it just, I mean, again, I've only met you today.
I believe in more science than anything else. I believe the Big Bang Theory. I believe there was dinosaurs. I believe there's aliens. Like, we're literally, how many billion people are we on the earth?
So the science and the history behind and not even just like Christianity, but even like with the Jewish, I don't know the full terminology, so I apologize.
Judaism?
Is it Judaism?
Yeah.
So Judaism, whatever the case, there's always a history, which is technically science behind it. Have you researched that? Have you gone to further, other than just doing like the actions? Like, as you said, if you're a Christian, you go to church every Sunday, you're just doing action.
I'm not going to fully throw myself into something that I don't believe in. I'm going to give it a try. It's like,
but you're giving it a try, again, it seems like you giving it a try is just doing the actions of like going to church and not understanding what the reason behind it is. That's the thing. You can try food.
It's by talking to somebody. It's by conversing with them. The person who's actually 100% in it. I've sat with people who I've done nursing before. There was a guy, he was full Judah, he was a full Jewish gentleman. He wrote books, whatever the case may be. He gave me a few of his books. He actually went to the synagogue, I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
He done that, pay his dues. It's like, why do I have to pay you to go to church? Like, that's the shit that confuses me.
Do you know why they pay dues?
Of course, because they have to keep up with the, renovations. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind that. But to me, it's like, look how many bad things go on in the Catholic Church. And all they do is take that one person out, ship them off to somewhere else, and it's like, now it's hushed.
But that's not the only Christianity. There's
Catholicism.
And at the end of the day, that's not who you're following.
Yeah.
Of course not.
You're getting off the whole...
No. But I'm saying, of course, I'm not saying I'm getting off topic. I'm just saying, but there's so much bad behind it.
But you only said to Catholicism.
Yeah, but it was... Where do you think most religions came from?
But again, Christianity is not just Catholicism. There are different denominations, and because you follow the one does not mean that the other follow. In the Methodist Church,
Europeans are the ones who invaded America, who actually brought all that information over here.
Back.
Because that's where it started from. How can you say that you're not going to understand something when it comes from way back then? You take that information, you consume it, and you interpret it the way that you want to. You cannot tell me that just because I'm going from way back when, early, 1700s, 1800s, or BC, whatever you want to call it, that's where religion started from. You cannot say, like, now I believe in what religion is now. You have to believe in what religion is then.
You have to believe in what religion is now.
So, but why does he have to do that?
Because the world has changed. You don't follow, like, with science, you don't believe the science that was when we were younger. Like, any...
Like Pluto was a planet and then it wasn't
Pluto
a planet.
was a planet. Moons have been discovered. Solar systems have been discovered. We thought that there were so many solar systems.
But that's advancement.
The world, and so
you don't believe in
science can advance, but religion
can't.
can't.
Absolutely not. Okay. That makes no sense to me.
But that's
you have to be a set thing.
To me, religion is a set thing. You abide by rules, just like government. You're putting it in a box. Yeah, but government is a set thing. They've changed a few things to kind of manipulate what would be more comfortable for people who are.
But see, all of this that's going on, for me, in my head, is just difference of opinion.
You're like here.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right? I'm like, whatever.
I don't disagree.
With,
I'm just gonna make
with
my
what
point.
I believe more in fact.
But no, I never had any bad experience in a sense for me to throw religion away. I think what it is that I've come to an understanding of who I am as a human being, and I don't feel like I have to follow something. It's like people who are politically, activists, and they just want to change the world. I don't think I have to change myself to make somebody else understand who I am. I'm comfortable with myself. I go to therapy every Tuesday, and that makes me understand myself all the time. And I get to understand why my relationships were failed, or why I was distraught at these certain moments, or why I was depressed, or why certain things is happening. I don't need to pray to somebody. All I need to do is just talk to somebody who understands me as a human being. Atheism to me means is that there's nobody else other than who I am, who my parents are, who my friends are, who the people of this world is. That's it. There's nothing more to it. We all are here for a reason. Nobody knows that what it is whether it's to suffer, whether it's to become somebody successful, whether it's to somebody who's going to change the world. I don't think I need religion to tell me what
I
I'm
believe that
gonna
as
be.
well. I believe, but like, so again, all perception. My perception of what you just told me, you have a great support system. You, as any person in this life, have seen situations and you've lived your life and you've been blessed by whatever you think whatever it is. But in my eyes, my perception is that you've been blessed to have a support system, to have the capabilities to like come into who you are, to give the mindset of like, I'm okay. And I'm like, you may see it as like atheism, like it's just me. And yeah, like you should, because it is you, like you're your own person. But as someone who's religious, you have that support system because that's just how the universe aligned it. Whether you believe it or not, the universe aligned it so that you are in your own space, maybe to help someone else, maybe to help me, maybe to whatever. Like you are so solid in your own being that you can give that to someone else. And I think that that's the point that I was trying to get, is that I'm not trying to disregard of the old ways. I'm not trying to disregard of like what religion meant. I'm trying to bring, the whole point of religion was to spread a positive message. Love, acceptance, okay? And I use religion not because I feel, yes, I do have self-doubt and I have, and I may have like different anxieties or whatever the case, but I use it as a support. I use it as support to build myself up. I don't use it as a crutch. I don't use it to sit here and to judge other people. I use it to say, I'm imperfect. I need my God. I need my faith to help me build up, and that's who I am. So I can able to communicate with a person like you who's so put together. And if we were to have this conversation, and if I didn't have my support system, this conversation might have been like, wow, I'm so much less than what I am. And whether or not you come and be like, you're so much better, blah, 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 it wouldn't be the same. But because I have my faith next to me, whatever you call it, I'm able to sit there and be like, I'm so happy that you have such a great system. And I'm like, you are one of the people that like I would pray for and be like, has together. I hope that it continues in his life. And anybody in this room, and that's what I just wanted to get. I'm not saying to always disregard where religion started, but just as anything, it changes. Plans change, the environment changes, the world changes, like it's who we are. So I think maybe it's time to reevaluate, and not to accept it, but just to see what religion is now.